Hello, everybody. I'm the Vivian.
And I'm BAGA Chips.
And welcome to another episode of Fancy a BREW or Summer. The podcast where we talk about everything from drag, pop culture, and talking some shite.
On today's episode, we are talking Pride. Woo! We are also talking about RuPaul Drag Race All Stars and finally getting back on the stage.
Oh, Miss BAGA Chips, we are now been in lockdown for 100 days. How are you coping, girl? How is your head?
Oh my God! How's my head? Well, I've had many complaints, to be honest.
Many refunds.
I have to pay them, darling. Trust me. Yeah, like he said, you know what I mean? The shops are opening in England now. So I've had a little trip around the Bullring in Birmingham. Got myself a nice bit of Louis Vuitton, a bit of Westwood. You know how it is. You're the same as me. We like the same shite, don't we?
I went into town today because my mum I haven't seen my mum since lockdown began. So even before that, since Christmas, I haven't seen my mum. So she's finally been allowed to come down and spend a couple of days at our house. So we went into town today and it was the weirdest feeling because, you know, when you go to town, you think, oh, we'll go to town. It'll be nice. You know, it'll be fun. We can have it. It just felt like the fun's been sucked out of going to town. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, going in the shops, because it comes from going for a little browse to a shop. But now it's turned into like, oh, you're waiting in a queue. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do... And I know it's all for the greater good, don't get me wrong. But I just think to myself, do you know what? I think I'd rather just fucking stay at home still. I'll just buy it online. I felt like I shouldn't have been there. And it was just dead weird.
Yeah, there's not as many people as well. And when I used to go shopping, you know what I mean, there'd be hundreds of people. And like you said, by me, all the main shops are open. So you've got like your Selfridges and Topshop and Primarks and all that are opening. But like you said, shopping's an experience. You don't want to be queuing up and then one in, one out and hurry up out because there's people waiting. I was standing outside Christian Louboutin for about 20 minutes today. You know what I mean? All I wanted was a bloody phone case. And then I went in the shop and they didn't have me bloody phone size. So I said, bugger you, I'm off to Gucci. Do you know what I mean? It's just with the restaurants and the bars. If I go shopping with my friends or something, I'd say, oh, right, we've got all our bags. You know, when you've got your bags of shopping, you're like, let's go and have a glass of champagne in the cocktail bar. Let's go and have some lunch in the bistro. You can't do that. There's no restaurants open. They're only doing takeaway when it comes to food. So I like wining and dining. Before lockdown, it was very rare I'd eat indoors. It could be anywhere. It could be the IV or something, you know what I mean? Or even going for a McDonald's, you know what I mean? But you just can't go for meals, you know. I feel like I'm back in the war days.
Like you said, it's part of the shopping experience as well, isn't it? You go do your shopping, you think, oh my God, I can't carry these bags anymore. Let's go and get a bite to eat. You can't even do that. It's murder trying to find a toilet if you need a shit or a piss. It's just madness.
But like you said, especially in these big, massive shopping centres, you think they'd have more toilets. Like, you know what I mean? I was touching cloth for about half hour, just walking round looking for a shop. I think I was looking for a MAC. I needed me Ruby Woo lipstick.
Yeah, so the red one.
My arse cheeks are clenched together because I'm scared of shitting myself in MAC. You know what I mean? And there's I'm like, where's the nearest loo, love? Oh, well, it's 2 escalators up. Then you do a right, then you do a left, then you go round the roundabout.
And then 2 meters apart, social distance, there's a fucking queue round the block.
And then you're in Bristol. And I'm like, fucking hell, darling.
We're just going to have to get used to it. You know, this is our new normal. You know, queuing outside the shops, social distancing 2 meters apart. You can't try anything on. And well, it's so scary. Do you think how long this is going to, you know, go on for until we find a vaccine for COVID-19? I can't see this going anywhere.
To say that as well, I do want to bring a bit of joy to people. Like I said, this time last month, there was no shops open. There is a little bit of good. Like, I think the pubs are opening on the 4th of July. But I think that's not with entertainment. I think that's just bars. You can be pessimistic or optimistic, but I do have a feeling that I will be performing on a live stage this year. I believe that. The theatre and live venue industry brings in over £1 billion a year revenue. And like you said, 400,000 jobs are currently jobless, 400,000. So they're going to have to find a way to deal with theatres. But it pisses me off because you're not allowed your mum over, you're not allowed your nan over, but I'm allowed to stand in a queue next to 30 people I've never met. Literally, people banging into me and everything, you know what I mean? It's a very serious thing, but I think from what I've seen, a lot of people have seen it as, oh, it's all a hoax. It's not a bloody hoax. People have died from it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
I hate all these conspiracies that it's not real and blah blah blah. It's absolute bullshit. And the fact you just mentioned theatres, I don't have a fucking clue how they're going to open up. Even if they got the go ahead to open on 50% capacity, they couldn't afford to open the doors. Say you've got 500 seats to fill. That 500 seats is 500 tickets. If you've only sold half of your tickets, then you're at a loss. I know I'm sounding like Debbie Downer, but I'm just trying to look at it realistically.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. We might have to do 2 shows a night instead of 1 if you're doing half capacity. And this is where the venues get involved. The venues will simply have to just charge cheaper for the venue.
Yeah, but what about these West End shows? Have they physically got it in them? Maybe they'd have to have 2 rotating casts, two shows a night. Because I mean, they're already at 8 shows a week.
I understand that. I thought you meant us because we basically only do a few numbers, don't we? We don't do a 2-hour bloody jamboree. Yeah, we do a good hour, but we have lots of people on and off, don't we? Do you know, I mean the tours. Do you know when we do tours?
Yeah.
So like I'd do a few songs, and you'd do a few songs, and then I don't know, Vinegar Strokes would do a few songs, and then you just have to have an hour's break, and then we'd have to do it all again. But I'd rather do that than basically do fuck all, because that's my life. My life is performing on stage, and I just feel useless when someone takes away what the one thing you love. You know what I mean? I love performing. You know what I mean? So not to not be able to perform and do what I do to love, it's soul destroying. So that hopefully the government's going to get involved, because I'm sure many people in the showbiz and entertaining industry are messaging the government and emailing the government, and I'm sure they will come to a conclusion on venues, even if it's little venues, even if it's outdoor venues, because there is many outdoor venues. I've had messages from my manager talking about that there's some outdoor venues that I could perform at where it's basically a field, you know what I mean? And they have a big, massive stage. It's a bit like when I saw Liza Minnelli at Kenwood House. It was all deck chairs, and it was just a big, massive stage. You know what I mean? So you'd be 2 meters apart from people.
Yeah, well, to anybody in the audience listening, listen to me. This is how much I miss the stage. I'm addressing our listeners as the audience. Yeah. Anybody listening who is, in theatre land, or, I've got so many friends on the West End, we are thinking of you, and we can't wait to see you back on them stages.
And the same goes for me. Like I said, just to copy what Vivian says, I'm a West End Wendy myself. I performed in many a theatre, the Arts Theatre, in Drag Divas. You know what I mean? I've been in many a panto. I've done Mrs. Annigan in Annie in many a production. You know what I mean? I'm basically the Patti LuPone and Elaine Page of the gay world, to be honest. So
you keep telling yourself that, love.
But like I said, I'm a Broadway baby, basically.
Broadway babby.
I'm a Broadway babby. All my music is the show tunes, Liza Minnelli, and I've also got my rock side. I'm a Tina Turner girl. Down to, like, you love Cher, didn't you? I love Tina.
Oh yes.
And I just miss doing it, and I just miss the rapturous applause. It was like, you know what I mean? I felt like Freddie Mercury at Wembley. You know what I mean? So
have you got any new things this week that you've been keeping yourself busy with?
Oh, many, many, many things. I've just had a meeting, a very important meeting. You know how it works, Viv. You're not allowed to say much. The drag world and the RuPaul Drag Race world is going to be shook to its core. That's all I will say. And yes, it's massive, huge, absolutely huge, tremendous. But yeah, like I said, I've got my Celebrity Master Chef coming out in the summer. I've got some more TV shows coming out. I'm doing a few things for Channel 4. I'm doing stuff for BBC Three. I'm doing a lot of things with Nick Grimshaw.
What are you doing at home to keep yourself busy?
I don't have any time to do anything. Literally, I did a bit of shopping today. I had to get my bits and stuff, and then I've just been on a meeting with a company, and then I've literally come off that meeting, had a poo, and now I'm talking to you, Viv. And then after this, I'm going to get in the bath, have a shave, and do all that. And then I've literally, no word, and this is no exaggeration, I've got about 5 things to film. And that ain't even cameos. I've got to do my cameos after that. So you're talking, I'll be working till midnight tonight. What have you been up to, Viv?
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I bought myself a PlayStation, girl, to keep myself busy. Yeah, so me and David have been playing on the PlayStation. I'm not into all this new Call of Duty and all that crap. Do you know what I mean? So it goes old-fashioned Crash Bandicoot. Did you ever play PlayStation as a kid?
Yeah, I used to play the Super Nintendo. Do you know the ones that you used to pop in the top, like the little grey one? So you had Donkey Kong and Mario, and but yeah, I had a PlayStation 1, and I used to play Tomb Raider, and
when I used to play Tomb Raider, I used to love kicking the old man. You know, what's his name? What was his name? Not Uncle Alfred. That was Batman, wasn't it? What was the old man called in Tomb Raider? In the first level, there was a pool, and there was an old fella walking around. You know, the butler with
oh yeah, I used to just like
tray of drinks.
I used to just like jumping in the water and swimming, and then you'd have to shoot a tiger and everything. Talk about PTA would be all over that now. You know what I mean? PTA.
These games, I don't know how kids play them. They're so bloody hard. I swing around the city, and then I climb up to the top of the Chrysler building, and I jump out.
Crash Bandicoot's addictive. Like I said, with the old-fashioned ones are more for me because I've got an Xbox. I've got the new Xbox. You know what I mean? I've got all the new games and all that. And I brought the Sims and everything, and it was just you know what I mean? It was like trying to do open heart surgery. I just didn't have a clue what to do. The buttons were going all over the place, and I was like, no, I'll just need 4 buttons where you press. But yeah, there's just too many things to do, and you know me with technology. I don't know my arse from my elbow. That's what I mean. This lockdown bollocks is absolutely driving me insane. Cameras, laptops, audio, input.
I know,
output.
it's an absolute nightmare. But you know what? I finally realised to myself I need something to look forward to. So I'm super excited. Ask me why.
What's happening, Vivian? What's going on? Tell me all.
Me and David have finally booked our holiday to Florida for January. As you know, sit and watch the fucking theme park videos, YouTube, Florida this, Florida that.
But what happens if we're not allowed to fly then?
Then it'll be rescheduled. And I've looked into all of this. Do you know what was dead funny? Something went wrong with our booking, so I had to go through all this process, and then I finally spoke to this lady, and she said, "Oh, I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Williams. Can I get your email address? I'll sort this out for you." And I said, "Yes, of course. It's the Vivian info." And she went, "Oh, this isn't the Vivian, is it?" I was like, "Oh, made up. Here we go. Here comes the freebies."
Oh yes, they probably thought it was Vivian Westwood or something.
But she sorted it all out. She said, "Oh, I love drag queens." And she said, "Davina De Campo's sister does my makeup." I said, "Oh, isn't that a small world?" But no, definitely, if you and Vince want to come, then book on.
I've already got one planned which is already booked, but that's later on like in the middle of next year to the Maldives.
Yeah.
I got that free for doing an advert for Celebrity Holidays or something.
If it comes to January and we can't fly, then we just move it later on.
Well, send me the details because me and Vince would love to come, and I'll have to put in a booking. I'll put a lovely booking in, and we'll book a lovely holiday or something.
Yes, we'd have a right camp.
Oh yes, brilliant, Hollywood baby.
Well, BAGA, we are in June, the month of June, and usually all over the world, this is Pride Month. So usually I'm on a stage, and then another stage, and then another stage. You know what it's like, bouncing around the country doing all these prides. But now, this year, we can't do Pride because of the horrible bitch there's COVID-19. So how are you celebrating Pride?
Well, like you said, Viv, even before Drag Race, I've done every Pride every year. So I do Birmingham Pride, Brighton Pride, Manchester Pride. I do all of them. sometimes the main stages, sometimes the cabaret tents. But yeah, I think the last one we did was Birmingham.
I've got a confession. I prefer the cabaret tent to the main stages.
Yeah, it's more of a it's.
I always find the main stages, it's great for the picture. The thousands and thousands of people watching you, but the main stage, you're not allowed to swear. You're not allowed to be blue. Do you know what I mean? Cabaret stage, it's all the old queens. Do you know what I mean? It's all every generation who love cabaret, love a good show, and love what we do. So I prefer the cabaret stage.
Well, like you say, with the cabaret stage, you get all the familiar faces and the regulars that love drag and cabaret. When you're on the main stages, it's people that would necessarily not even know who you were, you know what I mean?
And you can't have as much banter on the main stage. Still great, don't get me wrong, I love it. But
main stage is more for a, production with dancers and stuff. And but yeah, I just miss it like mad, and just seeing it's just a big it's the best party in the world, Pride, you know what I mean? Everybody comes together, every sexuality, every race, colour, religion, you know what I mean? They just all come together with their rainbow flags, rainbow makeup. Everyone's in sequins and sparkles. A lot of them are having a bevy or two.
Pride as well this year I think is more important than any year, I would say, because the world's gone on its arse. We had the horrific things with George Floyd in America, and to kind of look at Pride and what it actually is. If it wasn't for Black trans women, we wouldn't have a Pride. So I'm trying to do as much as I can from my home, even though I can't go out and be proud and parade. I'm trying to do as much stuff as I can with brands. I'm doing Attitude Online Pride, Global Pride, and Boohoo's Pride. I'm trying to do as much stuff as I can to spread the message. And you know what? The biggest thing I feel is just use your voice. That's all you've got to do is just use your voice. Even if it's a tweet, even if it's a post, even if it's just showing that you care and that you stand for equality. I think some people can think it's, oh my God, I've got to be doing this, I've got to be doing that, I've got to be out marching. Sometimes it's just little things, because people will see that and know that you care and know that you're on our side. So
you're not being forced to do anything. Show your support, how you feel, and you know what I mean, and show your solidarity, and just show the world that you stand with equality, you stand with pride, you stand with Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? But don't feel guilty. But if you can't make these marches, but if you can't make a march, put a post up, put charities up for people to donate to and stuff. You know what I mean? Because I knew lots of people that were absolutely gutted they couldn't make the Black Lives Matter march with me. Some of them had children under the age of 5, and I mean like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? 3 children.
How was the atmosphere down there?
Oh my God. Well, I think, like I said, rightful rage. That's the word I use. People were raging, but it was rightful. They weren't raging at each other.
Yeah.
They were raging at the government, raging at police brutality, the prejudice that still happens in around the world. Oh my God. I was with a gang of girls, and we were dancing to Tupac and Missy Elliott, and I think it was a celebration of Black excellence, but also it wasn't a party, it was a protest. We were happy that all the people there were like, if it makes sense, we were all one, because we all believed the same thing, and we all believed in what needs to be done. So that's why we were happy, because we were like, we all agreed with each other, but still there was still outrage, you know what I mean? And
do you remember Birmingham Pride last year when it was just before Drag Race UK was even announced? Nobody knew who was on it, but me, you, Davina, Something, and Cheryl were all booked for the same Pride. And we all turned up and we couldn't say a fucking word.
But all the queens knew, and all the people knew, and people were like, can we get a picture? Can we get a picture? Can we get a picture? And I've always had that all my life, like at Pride, but I think it was a bit more this Pride because they knew we were on Drag Race. I'm not mentioning any names, but there were a few queens in the dressing room that looked extremely bitter. And I'm not mentioning any names, but they just knew that we were on the show.
Say their name. Say their name.
And then you had another couple of queens that their tongue was so far up my arse. My God, you know what I mean? They were in my ovaries, basically. So, like I said, I'm just the same person I was 5 years ago. Yes, I've been educated in many things. I think differently, but when it comes to, I'm still me, BAGA, normal person. I don't see myself as some celebrity. You know what I mean? So many people do find me as a celebrity, but I don't. I'm very humble.
And that's the best joke you've told all day. What have you got any standout Pride performances that stick out in your head as your favourite?
I did London Pride the once on the main stage in Trafalgar Square, and we did Telephone. Do you know Beyonce
And Gaga.
yeah, but we added Britney in the mix, so it was like a remix. You know what I mean? There was a queen called Vicky Vivacious who played
Oh
Britney.
yeah, I know Vicky.
Yeah, she did Britney. I did Beyonce.
Yeah, it was you singing the Beyonce song.
Yeah, it was just me with a brown wig on, basically. And Vanilla Lush, God rest her soul. She was a friend of mine, a drag queen.
Oh, you know what? I performed with Vanilla when I was 17. I think I was 17.
Yeah, she was a Madame Jojo's girl.
Yeah,
And
it was a share night. We were there filming with the Discovery Channel for a show called Super Fantastic, which never aired, but it was about me being a Cher super fan, and they followed me up to London with Dusty O, and I did the Cher night at
one of the original JoJo girls, and I used to also work at the Way Out Club with her, and she was amazing. God bless her.
Is it Vicky who's got the Way Out Club?
The Way Out Club is basically a club for transgender people, cross-dressers, transvestites,
admirers. Yeah, trans women can go and feel safe. You know, get a bit of cock as well, I suppose, for them if they want it.
Yeah,
some
like
of them might get a bit of handbag as well.
I know, yeah. Oh, believe me, there was many a working girl there when I was doing a little turn on stage.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, but like I said, fair play to them. You know what I mean? They were hustlers. They had to make their money, and people don't understand how hard it is for a lot of trans people. You know what I mean? Sometimes they don't have the backing of the NHS, and sometimes they don't get their pills, and they don't get the support, and they have to go on waiting lists for years, psychiatric evaluations and stuff.
Yeah, a hell of a long process.
So a lot of trans people are desperate. So they have to buy hormones on the black market. You know what I mean? On the dark market. They even go abroad. Some of them have to be sex workers to save money so they can go abroad and get surgery, breast surgery, facial feminization surgery, genital surgery. You know what I mean? And they wonder why so many trans people have to turn to sex work and stuff, is because, and obviously you have to go through the right procedures. You do have to have evaluations. You do have to see a psychiatrist. You do have to. Obviously, you have to do you have to go through the proper routes. You know what I mean? You can't just turn up to a doctor one day and say, "Right, I want to be a woman. Let's do it tomorrow." You know what I mean? There is obviously why do you want to be a woman and all this, but like you said, there's so many people are just trans people are so desperate when it comes to wanting to be their authentic self.
I think sometimes it's not even the financial side of it. I think sometimes, because I know through my friends' experiences that until they are at their end goal, they don't feel comfortable out in the outside world. So imagine sitting on a till, being so, thinking everybody's looking at everybody's judging me because I don't feel right, because I haven't had my facial feminization surgery yet, or so it is so hard.
Well, from what my trans friends have told me, a lot of doctors and hospitals won't even consider you for hormones or breast surgery or any kind of surgery, basically, unless you've lived as a woman for over a year.
Yeah, it's presenting female for over a year, isn't it?
You've got to present for female for every year until they consider giving you medication. So, could you imagine being? And this is not me. If I'm rude, I apologize. Could you imagine being I don't know, a 6 foot, you know what I mean, quite big build, like unclockable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that must be absolutely awful having to go to work every day wearing a wig and people, look at that trans over there, ha ha ha. You know what I mean? It must be very, very hard because some people, you know what I mean, some trans girls are a lot luckier. They're petite and they have more feminine features.
Some just aren't, and it's it's those people that've got a harder journey. Anyone who is listening who thinks that that they are maybe too tall, or do you know what I mean? It's who cares? Like, beauty
Yeah.
is in the eye of the beholder. If you feel beautiful, you are beautiful.
But even at the end of the day, even if somebody's like, some trans women don't care if they're called trans or something. They're proud to be a trans woman. They are women. You know, at the end of the day, trans women are women. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you're 6'5" with bloody, I don't know, muscles and tattoos, or if you've got a body like Naomi Campbell. And if you are a trans woman, you're a woman. And the same goes for men as
Yeah.
well, trans men.
Trans is so normal to me because I moved to Liverpool when I was 16, and then met my my kind of new family, and just seeing the journeys. And
I think I was the only gay person. I used to hang around with 3 transsexuals. That was, and I was the little gay boy. You know what I mean? That I got taught so much from just being friends with them. We're talking over 10 years ago. People would shout names, you know what I mean? We'd be in kebab shops, and people would be like, oh, that's a bloke, and all this, and I, you know what I mean? My heart just fucking melted for them. And
I'm the first one thrown a fist.
there is times where you just have to say, girls, let's get in that car now, because you know what I mean, that sometimes you're not going to win because you're talking 10 lads.
Yeah.
You're not going to educate and change 10 lads' minds.
Oh no, especially with fucking Saturday night's worth of booze down them.
Exactly. You're just going to get a punch in the gob. Just be safe, you know what I mean, and just look after one another. And like I said, I've got so many trans brothers and sisters who they look out for me. They're like, Bagger, be careful. You've been on the telly, you know what I mean. There might be. I know you've got a lot of fans and all this, and people like you and they think you're funny. But it only takes one person, not who hates you, who's probably seen you on the telly, who's probably been like, I fucking hate that one with the yellow coat. Oh my god. You know what I mean? So you just got to be careful. There's maniacs around. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. For every hater, I've got 10,000 lovers, but it only takes one nut job. Vivian, we are living in gloomy times, but in America, it is now illegal to fire or discriminate someone at work for being gay, bisexual, lesbian, trans, non-binary. They can't fire you for your sexual orientation or your gender, basically. So we are going in the right direction. Congratulations, America.
It's such good news.
Yeah, to all the states that want to try and revoke it or make it not pass, kiss my ass. This is going to happen. Get used to the future, bitches, because we are going nowhere.
This is such good news, and I just so hope in my heart of hearts that this really does get enforced and this does get seen as a law, because I mean, it blows my mind that the fact that it was, a couple of days ago, it was the norm to be able to discriminate against somebody, and
it's been illegal in this country for years. You can't.
I know.
I know we have our problems in the UK. Do you know what? I'm not going to stand here and say the UK is perfect. Do you know what I mean? But from some of the stories I hear in America, I genuinely, I'm in disbelief. Like our police, for example, we still have bad cops in the UK and all that. But you know what I mean? You don't get cops in the UK shooting people for crossing the street. You know what I mean? In America, it's a daily thing. And in this country, if you fire someone for being gay or lesbian, oh my God, that company is going to court and they are paying out big bucks. You know what I mean?
So to all our LGBTQ plus brothers and sisters listening in America, if you are listening, congratulations. It is just the tip of the iceberg. And please remember to still go out and vote. Do whatever you can do. Yes, I think this is going to lead us on to our final thoughts. And my final thought is going to be... give yourself something to look forward to, whether it be a holiday, like I booked a holiday, which BAGA's going to go and book on with straight after we finish this.
Gonna follow you.
Could be anything. Maybe say we're going to go and walk up that mountain in 30 days. We're going to do that. Give yourself something to look forward to, even if it's baking a cheesecake next week. Give yourself that little milestone, and then set yourself a new one, and set yourself a new one, and then just have fun with it and try and keep happy. I think that's the biggest thing. Try and give yourself something that brings a smile to your face each and every day.
Yeah, and my final thought, basically, like I just said, keep fighting, because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We will not stop until we finish the marathon. So don't think it's all over. We need to keep on fighting. We need to keep on supporting our trans, our people of colour. We need to support everyone that is oppressed until all lives matter, because all lives don't matter at the moment. But all lives will matter one day when the world is a better place, and it will be much better.
Preach, girl, preach. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that brew. Mine was extra sweet, and I got through 3 packets of chocolate digestives. So I'm full up and I'm ready to go. Thank you so much all for listening. Please do not forget to rate, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Share this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I've been the Vivian.
And I've been BAGA Chips.
We'll see you next time on Fancy a Brew, Chuck.
Ta-ra, Chuck.